So it's the run up to Blackpool, and I'm talking with some of the creators and some of the dealers and some of the producers that are going to be at Blackpool. And today I am going to be talking with one of my favorite magicians, mentalists, creators of all time, somebody who last year at last year's Blackpool had on his stand what I think most people considered to be the trick of the convention. It sold out, like, I think partway through the second day or something, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. The absolutely incredible, always awesome, super creative, nicest man in magic, Mr. Michael Murray from Mind Effects. How you doing, Michael? You okay?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
I'm great. I'm excited. It's almost Blackpool. I couldn't be more. I know it's great, right?
It is.
Excited. Every year I go to Blackpool, I kind of extend it a bit. I'm now arriving on the Tuesday, and I'm not leaving until the following Thursday. I'm like, it's now extended for like 10 days.
How is your liver going to handle that?
I'm gonna cope. I'm gonna be drunk the entire time, but other than that, I'm gonna be great. I don't have to lecture this year, so I am literally just doing nothing, which is perfect.
Oh, good. Man of leisure. Lovely.
Absolutely. But you are going to be busy because you're going to be on the Mind Effects stand, your company, Mind Effects. Last year, to say it was a hit was an understatement. You had Daniel Dorian Johnson, Mr. Freak himself, stemming the Bergfast routine from Fast Project, which, as I said, that's what I was alluding to. It's like, I think a lot of people were saying that was the trick of the convention. Everybody was buzzing about it. But then, obviously, you had a bunch of other stuff as well. I think you launched your lottery routine.
Yes, I had Plotto, and I also had Aureality, which was a universal version of the isolation routine. So like a Propolis playing card revelation routine. Yes, so yeah, it was an exciting thing.
In the bar and fooled the crap out of me with, like, it's just amazing. So you had a fantastic time last year. How do you one up that? I mean, what have you got? Let's talk about what you're going to have.
Yeah, so this year basically it's all set to be an even more exciting one, because we're back with a few classics. So Deadlock, which was probably one of my all-time best-selling physical product releases, we've eventually got those back in stock. I mean, those sold out last year, and they've been out of stock for best part of the year, so they're finally back in production again. So we've got Deadlock's back on the stand.
Brilliant.
A Piece of My Mind, which was obviously my award-winning book, that's been out of print now for, I would say, at least a year. We've got a fresh reprinting of those. And you mentioned Fast by Daniel Dorian Johnson. So Freak is back once again, and he's basically bringing out a wonderful close-up everyday carry version of the Bergfast routine, which is called an iceberg, and this comes with basically a number of different routes that you can get into the effect, and a number of different options. So if you loved the Fast project, or even if you don't know what that is, be sure to head over and look for the guy with the green beard. You'll not be able to miss him. He'll certainly stand out, and he shall give you a demo of that. We've got a very exciting...
Michael, sorry, just on that one, will you also have some of the original Fast as well as the new?
Yes. So for anybody who missed out last year, that was a complete sellout. We will have fresh stock of that. So again, Dan will be on hand to demonstrate that. So if you haven't seen it, please make your way over at the stand, and Dan will give you a demonstration of that superb routine. Well, it's a superb project. It's not just one routine. There's actually several different routines on there, including an open prediction, which I think is superb. So we've got that from Freak. We have a Hexology from a good friend of mine, Steve Hairsign, and this really is a showcase. It's a showpiece of an effect. This is something that, and I mentioned this a while back, it's really something that I could see Darren performing. It's not the type of effect that you will just inject into the middle of your set, but rather if you're performing in like a one-on-one situation, basically, it's really unlike any other routine out out there. It's a piece which involves music, a very intimate piece, a very memorable piece. And yeah, we're basically not saying too much about that one, but he's going to be on the stand, and you can check that one out. It is really a superb piece. We have what else have we got? We'll have Stephen Eric Young on the stand, who actually was the creator of one of my all-time favorite effects, or is the creator of one of my all-time favorite effects, Visionary 3. Or the original Visionary. I was actually the person who begged him to release it. He showed me it, and I spent a year trying to figure it out. Drew a complete blank, had no clue, and then I begged him to show me how it works, and then I begged him to release it. So we're now on version 3, which is a nice pocket-friendly version of the effect, and he's also going to be bringing along some of the baby books that he brought out alongside John Morton in collaboration with him. So he's going to be on the stand. And then a couple of effects from myself. We have a brand new effect, which is gaining traction over on the green room. That is a showreel, which is I've got
to tell you, before you tell us about this, I have never seen anything like this before, where there's like a multi-page thread on the cafe and nobody even knows what it is. There's not a trailer. There's not a product page. There's not ad copy. It's not even officially released. And it's just like hushed whispers from the people that you've shown it to. And it's caused this huge, massive thread. This is like become one of the biggest things at Blackpool. And everyone's like, okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Michael's stand. I've got to pick this up. I don't know what it is, but I want it.
Yes, well, I've recently I sort of opened up demonstrations of this online for anybody who was on the cafe, anybody who reached out to me. A few have done that through Facebook, and I gave personal demonstrations via a video call, and the response to it has just been absolutely phenomenal. There has been people obviously requesting a video demonstration and obviously further information. Now, I have added that over onto the Mind Effects website, which is www.mindeffects.co.uk. So there is a video demonstration and the full ad copy on there. But what I will say is, please do not watch the video if you're going to Blackpool. Come and see it in person. Okay, I strongly urge you, because there's nothing beats a live demo. Yes, if temptation gets the better of you, you can do it, but please, you know, I would much prefer you come in with fresh eyes. If you want to be blown away, I'd love to see you on the stand so that I can perform this. I really think it's going to be, certainly from my new releases, it's going to be a really good one. Everybody that I've shown it to so far is not just bought one, but we've had actually several people say, I want to buy these for friends. And I've actually, I thought that I had enough in quantity to last me literally for the pre-orders, which are now open, all the way through till maybe a month after I get back from Blackpool. And we've actually sold 60% of them already. And word is just basically starting to circulate about them. So thankfully, the turnaround to get more is pretty quick. So I am actually putting another order in later on today. So don't worry, we will have stock at Blackpool. You can actually reserve a copy if you want to watch the video demonstration and reserve a copy for collection. I doubt we'll sell out at Blackpool because, you know, I know it's going to be a popular one and I want stocks to last long after Blackpool. But yeah, do me a favor. Don't watch the video where possible. Come and have it a total surprise, and I can guarantee I shall blow you away with it.
Can we talk a little bit about what it is without actually spoiling the surprise for anybody? Because I remember when you first showed me this, you hadn't even finished designing it. You were like, oh, this is the one page. This is the one thing I'm going to show. The other thing is going to look like this. And I was like, just looking at it when it was like halfway through, I'm like, this is incredible. And then the other day, you showed me the rest of the thing and you showed me that you could do this and it led to this. And I'm like, it was already great. And now you've just made it 20 times better. This is ridiculously good. This is so good. So, and it's an everyday carry. You can just literally have this with you in your wallet and you're good anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, so it's basically it's small enough and portable enough to fit inside your pocket. And what it is, it's basically a printed page, just using a single printed page. This is one of the prototypes here that I've been using for the past several weeks. And it's a printed page from a magazine. And using this page, you can have a participant think of any movie, then think of one of the 30 different celebrities who's appeared in their movie. And in the cleanest possible fashion, you can not only reveal who they're thinking of, but you can also reveal specifically how they were influenced to create that thought in their mind. Now, this comes with obviously a bunch of different alternative handlings and different presentations. So you can use this as a spectator's mind reader effect, have one participant read the mind of another. You can reveal the title of a movie that's just been generated by somebody in their own mind. I do include a suggestion for actually performing this completely propless for those who like propless work. But for something so simple that folds up and fits into your wallet, it really is a pack small plays big routine. You can even perform this on stage or in parlor cabaret settings. Turn the page into an airplane, paper airplane, throw that out the audience, have that passed around, and 4 people each think of a different celebrity from the page, and you can reveal all 4. A lot of people, when I've actually performed this for them, have been expecting some long-winded process to be able to identify which celebrity they're thinking of, but that process just doesn't happen. So yeah, I don't want to spoil the surprises. Be sure to pop over to the stand and you can have a demo of that one. I may have, and this is exclusive news for this video, because I've never publicly announced this. I may also have another one, another release, which basically involves a word search book and a word selected from that book that is revealed with no asking for any letters. The participant just simply imagines one of the words in the mind. They look through the word search. They'll find perhaps obviously a dozen different words from any word search that they choose. They ask to focus on one of them and just imagine it in as many different ways as they can in the mind, and you can nail specifically what they're thinking of each and every time. Now, it's not guaranteed that that is going to be delivered before Blackpool, but if it does, I'll be more than happy to give you guys a demonstration. So there's countless different reasons why you should head over to Mind Effects and visit our stand, and we all very much look forward to showing you all of these new items.
That's amazing. I've got one other question, and I didn't want to stop you through all of that.
No, ask away, ask away.
Rewinding back to the new version of Bergfast, you said it's a version of Bergfast, which is an amazing trick that I've done many, many times. It's a version of Bergfast, but an everyday carry.
Yes.
I don't even see how that's possible.
Well, Dan's made it possible. Yes, so basically you can carry one thing inside your wallet and you're all set and ready to perform the Bergfast routine.
Really?
Yes.
Just one thing that you put inside your wallet?
One thing that you put inside your wallet and you can perform Bergfast.
You can lock me in a room for 100 years and tell me, this is Bergfast. I want a version of it that fits in a wallet. And I wouldn't even begin to know what direction to go in. That's incredible. And
you get a bunch of different variations with it. So there's enough variation in the content that comes with this particular release, and it's not going to be an expensive one either. I believe offhand, I can't remember what price Dan put on it. It was something like £15-20. It's not an expensive release, but yeah, there's enough variations that we're guaranteing that there's going to be one version within the set that that you're going to enjoy and literally slip inside your wallet. So if you don't have a pack of cards on you and you want to perform Bergfast, then you can do just that. Wow. Okay, everyone needs to come straight over to your booth. That's the first thing that people need to do. That's amazing. That's incredible. So for anybody who's not going to Blackpool and they can't get there for whatever reason, all of these products are going to be available to buy from the Mind Effects site, yes? Yes. The good news is that the show reel, which is the Celebrity Revelation, that is already available on pre-order. Those are going to be shipping off starting the 6th of February. So the international orders are going to be posted out ahead of time, so that they should be landing about 10 days later, just that, in the same time frame that Blackpool actually takes place. The UK orders will be sent off a couple of days beforehand. So again, they're going to arrive obviously at the same time, so everybody gets to have it at the same time. Hexology, that is officially classed as a pre-order item, but again, we are willing for anybody who purchases that to obviously post that at the same time. So again, you're getting that at the same time that it's officially released. Iceberg, and also the new word search idea from myself, those aren't on the website as yet, but providing we've still got stock left after Blackpool, we will actually then obviously update the website accordingly. You know, by all means, you can drop me an email, and if there are any left that are brought back, I can obviously address those emails and give those people obviously the first opportunity to collect those. Obviously, full information will be provided. You know, we'll just like to keep everything as a surprise for those who appear on the stall, but you'll be given obviously the full sort of ad copy and any video demonstrations to accompany that, so you can make an informed choice. But yeah, other than that, the Piece of My Mind, which is coming back into print, you can pre-order that now. Deadlock is physically available, so you can purchase that and check out right away. The only thing that I will point out, which may be depending on when this is actually going out, will hopefully have been addressed, is obviously the international orders are subject to slight delays with the Royal Mail at the moment. Hopefully that will be resolved. I know the business side is starting to open back up, so hopefully that's not going to cause any problems. But for anybody who is actually ordering the showreel effect, that's free worldwide shipping at the moment, and that's going out. Basically, that can be posted out as a letter, which is great. It avoids basically, there's no customs with it being just a letter, and that can go straight through now. Hexology is exactly the same, so basically we've got no problems with posting those straight out. So yeah, so many of the items you can purchase straight away, you can secure straight away, and there's only two which you will perhaps just have to wait till after Blackpool to get more information on.
That's brilliant. Michael, I can't wait to see you at Blackpool. I'm sure that I'll bump into you in the Ruskin on the first night, and you'll show me something that will make my head bleed for the rest of the convention.
Well, I do have more. I do have some ideas that I'm road testing, so we shall definitely make that happen.
You know that I'm your personal guinea pig. Anytime you need to test anything out, I'm there. That's amazing. I can't wait to see you at Blackpool. Congratulations on all your success. I can't wait to see all the new products. I will be the first person lining up on the Thursday when no one else is allowed in and I can get in early. I'm going to be walking over to you as you're setting up your stand.
I'm going to prepare the sold out sign already.
No. I'm reserving one. Stick one aside for me. Stick one of everything aside for me, because I just want everything. But yeah, congratulations. I know you're going to do amazing. And my friend, I will see you at Blackpool.
I very much look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, mate.
It is time for another interview. We are on the run up to Blackpool, and it's very, very exciting. The world's largest magic convention, Blackpool, is happening in just a few days. And I am sitting down today with a legend of the British magic community, somebody who's been on Magic TV being interviewed more times than anyone else. And probably the reason for that is he's so prolific and he brings out so much stuff that I have to talk about. Super nice guy, incredibly creative, an absolute legend as far as I'm concerned. The one and only Chris Congreave. How you doing, mate? You well?
Hey, want to talk up? How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm good. And you know what? I know how busy you are. You're just about ready to leave to go to the other side of the world to do an interview. So, you know, sorry, not an interview, a lecture. You're doing a lecture today somewhere, aren't you?
I am, and I believe you're going to be there too. We're going to, well, not really the other side of the world, but the other side of the English Channel, let's put it that way. So, yeah, we're both off to France quite soon, aren't we? Looking forward to that. That'll be good.
And you know what? You've got so much going on. I mean, I can't think of many people outside of maybe Jay Sankey that's released as much material as you have over your career. Like when you think about all, well, no, I'm just a late bloomer. I've been going at it the last couple of years, but I mean, you've been going at it for like 15 years now, right back from the stuff you did with Alakazam in the early days, and then the stuff you did with, Workers' Corner, and all of your books and all of the projects that there's so much material that you've created, and all of it is working material.
Yeah. I think I went through a spell where I didn't release anything for quite a while, and I was just sort of quietly going about, my business really. And then the last few years, it's funny, isn't it? Because Magic's evolved over the years, and like you know, when we first started releasing stuff, I remember some of your first releases with World Magic Shop and multi-trick DVDs were the thing, weren't they? You know, I remember some of your stuff like Blank. No, what was it called? Was it Blank? You know, Attack of the Bag.
Attack of the Bag and Slim
and all that stuff. So, you know, you go with one sort of, and me, Gary Jones and I had dupes, which is, so it's a similar sort of thing. It's like you'd have a theme and then you'd put a DVD around it. We have like the coins across stuff, didn't we? And you know what I mean? And Magic's changed now. It's very much changed. And, you know, stuff like that, you don't see it anymore. You either buy something, you know, like a prop for like Keymaster, for example, to give one of your routines, and you get a whole load of routines around it or whatever. So you don't know where to release your stuff. And then I started writing the books, as you know, and that's where I'm at really. It's the last few years I've been working on that, and it's how, you know, thankfully for me they've been well received.
Well, this is your fourth book. I mean, we're talking about it in the context of the Blackpool Magic Convention, because at Blackpool, you're going to have a dealer booth again. You're going to be demming stuff from the book. The book will be available to sell there and buy immediately there. And you're obviously going to be able to sign it and so on and so forth. It is, and we'll talk about this later on, it is now available for pre-order. So if you're not going to Blackpool, you can still pick it up. But this is your fourth book, right? So you had, the first one was...
First one was Congreave's Curiosities. That was, I wrote the material as, you know, part of lecture notes and things like that. But Magic Scene compiled everything, put it together, took all the pictures and they released it. So that was the first one. And then Curiouser was the second one, which I self-published, wrote and published myself, which was translated into Japanese, which is something that thrilled me a lot when that happened as well. So you can get that in Japanese if you want. I then wrote Alas Chris and Jones, which is the big sort of book that is the best of type of thing between Gary Jones and myself. And then finally, this new one, curiously enough, I've kept the theme going for some reason. And that's the latest one, as well as writing a few booklets and things like this on the way. You know, I've released a few little bits and bobs like that.
And we can talk about the booklets, but first of all, the book. So one thing, and I've reviewed all of your books on this channel, and each one has got better than the last. I'm not saying that the first ones were they were all, you set a bar high and then you continued to raise it. And I think that's because your type of magic is the type of magic I like to perform. It's direct. You're not afraid to put sleights in there, and you're not afraid to go knuckle busting if you want to, and if it needs it. But the material, a lot of the time, is very simple, very accessible to everybody. And there always seems to be a very interesting plot, a very interesting twist. A lot of your routines, you think you know what's coming, and then you just completely pull the rug out from underneath people's feet. And they're all, as I say, the best word I can use to describe it is workers.
And that's the thing. When I come up with a routine, I attack it in a way that it's something that I perform myself. And you know, believe me, and you know this yourself. You know, I've come up with stuff over the years, and I sit there and I've come up with something, and I just go, that's crap. I'd never use that, and I don't even bother writing it down or doing anything with it. You know, so for me, I have to go out there and perform it. Before I'll sort of try and sort of sell it to somebody else, really. So that's why, yeah. And you know, as you know, and we spoke about this before on this channel, you know, where I sort of came up, if you like, in magic was working in, and as you did, in working in family restaurants and busy restaurants and bars and things like that. And that's exactly the sort of material that you need to get by. Otherwise, you know, you sink, don't you?
You do. Exactly. So what can we expect in the latest book, the third in the trilogy, the fourth book overall?
Yeah.
What are we going to expect in here? What sort of stuff can we expect to see?
So there's a lot of card magic, which is probably what I'm known for, I guess. Stuff using interesting looking props, everyday props. There's one of my favourite tricks in the book is the first thing in there, and it's a really, I think, a really great take on the lie detector plot, which you've seen. Well, obviously you read the book, but I think I performed it for you when we were at a magic competition. So you've seen that. What else is in there? There's some stuff with regular shuffle pack and things like that as well. There's a really cool trick using a toy gun for sort of restaurant workers and things like that. And it's a bit of everything really, mate. You know, it's a real mixed bag. There's a whole chapter around child's play as well, which is one of my old projects that was released about 10 years ago. So Sean McCree, who most UK magicians will know, and if not all over the world, really sort of big name in magic. His version and handling of child's plays in the book as well as you know, a lot of things that I've done with it differently. I've got like takes on it, like a childish anniversary, it's called, which is it's a cross between child's play and anniversary waltz. So it's an interesting. Took it in a different spin, and yeah, so there's all sorts really, mate. And there's a nice take on Jim Steinmeier's Matrix Poker as well, using everyday objects. That's quite a cool little plot. Stuff using business cards. Yeah, there's a whole mix and match, and you know, there's a whole small gazette. Is that the right word? Let's
go for it.
There's a whole load of different stuff in there, mate. Yeah,
because I know that you, as a performer over the last couple of years, you've been gravitating slightly towards mentalism. And I know that's something that you're quite passionate about at the moment. Not that you still don't do close-up, but I know that you've been very passionate about mentalism. Do we see that theme in the new book? Not really. There's some, I would say, mental magic in there rather than mentalism. You know what I mean? If a dyed-in-the-wool mentalist read it, and they'd be like, "Oh God, no, that's magic." You know what I mean? So probably not. But there are some mental magic in there, certainly. You know, a few prediction routines and things like that. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. And how many routines are there in there in total? And
I think it's 40.
One of the things. 40, because one of the things I loved so much about every other book you've done is just the sheer amount of content. It's like you see books that are released these days and it's like 4 tricks and you're like, it's not even a book, it's a big pamphlet. But like all of your other books, there's tons of stuff. There's normally some essays in there as well about something.
I'm just going to say that, so there's 40 routines and there's one essay, and it's all about performing at tables, pocket management, and it's stuff I think I've touched on it before, but I'll go into greater detail. And things like the things that, well, you as well, the things that we would have liked to have known when we were first starting performing at gigs. For example, how to hold the attention of a 10, 12 top table. It's not easy. It's not something, you know what I mean? You've been used to working for 2 or 3 people at the Magic Club or your friends and everything else, and you get to this gig and there's 12 people there, all talking, you know, there's loud music going on. How do you get their attention? How do you hold their attention? How do you deal with the massive table decoration? You know, all this type of stuff, so there's a whole essay on that kind of stuff as well. And again, I'm not saying I'm right, but it's how I deal with it and my thoughts on it, really.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. So, what else? I want to talk about pre-order. I want to talk about where we can get the book if we're not going to Blackpool. But while we're on the subject of Blackpool, you're obviously going to have the book there. Yeah. You're going to be able to sign it. How much is the book, if you don't mind me asking, Chris?
£50.
That's ridiculous.
All right, £60.
40 routines, an essay. I know it's going to be a really nice hardbound book because they always are with you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible price.
Yeah,
you can buy a trick for 50 quid that'll just end up being thrown in your bottom drawer. That's got like a 5-minute tutorial, and it's the whole thing has been half-assed, and you can tell that the guy's never done it in the real world.
Yeah, that's the thing. And do you know what? I did think about charging more and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, this is the first run. I haven't had a massive amount of them printed. I'm having a couple of 100 done, and I know they'll sell sort of fairly quickly from what happened with my last book. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe we'll look at it again because the price of printing just keeps going up year on year and stuff like that. And believe it or not, these books have cost me more to have printed than the last Chris and Stone books did, which is a big thick book. You know what I mean? This is costing more because the prices have gone up so much over the last sort of 12 months. But yeah, I thought that was a good price, to be honest. And it's like you said, it's just over £1 a trick.
Yeah, Exactly. It's insanely good value. So at Blackpool, you're going to have the books. You're going to be able to sign it. You can pick them up there and then walk away with them. You'll be demming routines out the books. I'm sure you will. What else will you have on the stand? Are you going to have, because obviously you've got so much stuff. Last year, your booth, everywhere was coming over to see Canopoly and you know, all of these bits and pieces. Is there anything else, or are we just focusing on the book this year?
Mainly on the book. I may have a new routine that I've been working on that's going to be out later on. So I might have some pre-releases for that, but it'll just be very much a homemade, you know, with a video link, etc. to start with. What else have I got? I've still got some copies of Safe, which is the mentalism routine I did with Alakazam. You know, with the keys. So I've still got a few of those, and also this. I've got that on the stand, which I know you've seen.
I wanted to speak to you about this because, like, I didn't realize you had any left, because, which is why I wasn't going to bring it up. But if you've got some left, we should talk about this, because this is for wedding magicians and people that perform at weddings. Yeah, this is one of the strongest things that you could ever do for a bride and groom at a wedding. As a top table thing.
So yeah, I designed it for bride and groom. You can use it for other stuff. You can use it for parties, obviously, and it's basically a customizable trick. And then when you're finished, you can leave the props with the bride and groom. And I know a lot of busy performers have bought it off me. It's not cheap. It's 35 quid just for a little booklet for one trick. Okay. When you consider I'm charging 50 quid for an actual hardback book, you're probably thinking, what's that all about? I had 50 copies of this done, and I'm not going to release it again. And I've got, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 left, I think, something like that. And yeah, it's like you say, it's a customizable trick for the bride and groom. You leave them with, you know, something that they're going to keep forever. And there's some thoughts on there by Paul Brook, Ian Ragg and Nick Wilson as well, some additional thoughts and comments. But you've seen the main routine, and it's a self-working routine, but it's really, I don't know, it's just going to leave them with a really nice souvenir, let's put it that way.
Wow. I mean, I know what it is. I've been to weddings as a guest, and I've seen that have hired magicians, and have made I've seen so many times people making no fuss of the bride and groom. And I think if you book for a wedding, you have to do something special for that top table. It doesn't have to be elaborate. And this routine fits in the top pocket, takes seconds to put together. It takes minutes to learn, but it's going to give them a memory, and this isn't just sales jargon. It's going to give them a memory that they're going to keep forever. It's incredible. You've hit the
nail on the head there, mate, because you make it up before you go. You stick it in your pocket, and if you get a chance to sit down with the bride and groom for 5 minutes, that's all it takes. You leave them with this wonderful. And if you don't have a chance to sit down with them, because it's not always possible, depends on when you book for, etc., etc. Doesn't matter. It's costing next to nothing. It's sitting in your pocket. You take it home with you, you know. But you've always got it there. But you know, if you perform at weddings, you can do, like I said, you can do it at birthday parties, anniversaries. You can do it for corporate clients if you wanted to, and that type of thing. But for me, I think it's the perfect wedding trick, or bride and groom trick. That's what it says at the bottom. You know, it's called Windle, but it says at the bottom, otherwise known as the bride and groom trick.
Yeah, and it really is. And anybody, I'm telling people now, if you're going to the Blackpool Magic Convention and you're smart and you do weddings, the first thing you need to do is go and pick up one of these, because they're going to go fast. I guarantee you. It is the perfect. I didn't review it on the review show purely because I knew you only had 50, and I knew I'd piss people off by talking about it, and that you wouldn't have any left. But like, here's my mini review. This is the best, the best bride and groom trick I've ever seen, and you know, it's a no-brainer for anyone who does weddings. Absolutely no-brainer.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it is. You know, Owen Strickland, who you've had on the channel before, is one of the busiest wedding magicians I know, and he does it. You know, he does it for his couple. So you know, that's it. Really, that's enough said.
Well, I'm gonna ask you two more questions. Yes. I've got everyone popped up about coming over to your stand at Blackpool. I know that we're going to be excited about seeing the stuff out of the new book. And obviously, by the way, for people watching this, Chris will be at the Ruskin. He's great at sessioning. You know, if you don't know him, go up and say hi to him. He's so super friendly. But I've got two other questions. You mentioned Owen Strickland.
Yes. I
heard a rumor that you and Owen are going to be doing something in the future. Can you tease anything, or should we just leave that as an ambiguous statement?
No, we're we're going to be working together, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of Owen and I at conventions and things like that. And yeah, just watch this space really. But we're working quite closely together on stuff in the background, and yeah, I think it's going to be quite exciting. People are going to dig it, I think. Well, come and chat to us at Blackpool, and you know, we'll be taking people's email addresses and stuff and setting up like a little. We're not going to spam people to death, but basically, once it's all off and running, we'll be just, you know, emailing everybody. And we've filmed a free trick, so anybody who signs up to the mailing list, they'll be getting a video of a free trick, which is Dr. Daly's Mystery, which I know you've performed on your channel before.
Oh, I love that trick. That's just one. That's, I'd say, probably the best version of Dr. Daly's last trick that there is. It's just so cool.
I love it. I'll do it a lot, and yeah, we've filmed it and the explanation. So anybody who signs up to our mail list will get a free tutorial of that trick.
What you're waiting for? Go over to Blackpool and sign up for that mailing list. That's an amazing trick. Awesome. And the last question, last two questions. Firstly, is there going to be another book? I called this the trilogy. Is there going to be a Still Being Curious or something at some point? Because I remember talking to you after the second book, Curiouser and Curiouser, and I said, is there going to be a third book? And you went, I've got no plans at all. I'm going to be working on a book with Gary. Beyond that, maybe in a few years, I don't know. Yeah. A year later, we're here talking about a third book. So,
you know, you're absolutely right. And I don't know what happened. I had no plans to write the next book. And the next thing I know, I'm thinking about stuff. And the next book was almost, it's a really weird thing to say. And I've heard proper authors say this. But, you know, it was almost like it wrote itself. Do you know what I mean? I was just sort of, the material was coming to me, and I just started writing it all down. And before I knew where I was halfway towards the next book. It was bizarre. And then I was sending, I think I sent you some early drafts of the book to have a look at. And I also sent David Jonathan and who else was it? Michelle Hugh, some early drafts of the book. And then every couple of weeks, I'd add another 2 or 3 tricks. And I'd say, oh, I've added this in now. And they're like, blooming heck, I thought you'd finished, you know. And it just kept on growing organically. So I really don't know, mate. I'm not going to say, never say never, that's the thing. Because I think I probably will write another book, but I don't think it'll be as quick as this one was. But, you know. Who knows?
You never know, right? You never know. I'm fully expecting in a year's time to be sitting down with you and talking about book number 4.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know.
You know what you need to do if you're doing more stuff with Owen? You need to ghost write a book for him on the business of wedding magic.
Do you know what? That's a really good idea, and I'll mention that to him because he you know, he does. I mean, you're a busy guy, and I know you're a busy guy. But Owen, you know, just one man on his own, and he's just always working, you know, and he's like, you know, through the summer, he's like 2 weddings on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, 1 on Thursday. He's just.
If he had a book out on the business of wedding magic, I would buy that in a heartbeat.
And do you know what? I would as well, but you do wonder sometimes whether people see the worth in something like that, or whether they just want tricks. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you know what? Now you
throw a few wedding tricks in there at the end just to appease people.
That's a good point. Yeah, now you've floated it out there. We'll see if we get any sort of any buzz about it. You know, it's like when I first started out, one of my favourite things to read, and I don't know if you remember this, we may have even spoke about it before, was the chapter at the start of Simon Lovell's book, and it was all about performance, pocket management. And I loved it. For me, it was gold. It was absolute gold. And then I remember buying Jim Sisty's magic menu, you know, and all those performers and all those little columns and little nuggets of information. You know, for me, it was brilliant. I just used to soak it all up. But then people seem to want to go on YouTube and learn secrets now. I don't know whether they still want to learn that side of it and that stuff. Who knows?
No idea, but it's very true. Well, I think there's a market out there. I do think there's a market out there, and I reckon you know, Owen's name would carry a lot of weight. You know.
Yeah. He's super busy, and he's a great. I mean, I don't know if you've seen him perform. I'm sure you have. He's a really
yeah, man. He's amazing. He's great.
He's funny, and people like him.
Yeah, he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. One last question, though, before we finish off.
Yes, sir.
For people that aren't going to the Blackpool Magic Convention,
Yes.
where can they pick up your book? Where can they go and pick it up? Because I know it's now available. As of watching this video, you can pre-order it. So
yes,
where do they go to?
Pre-order it. I should have them in a couple of, I'll definitely have them before Blackpool, so I should hopefully have them in a couple of weeks from now. We're filming in, this is the end of January, so I should have them mid-Feb. So just drop me an email via my website, chriscongreave.co.uk. Haven't got a shop, still haven't got a store. Watch this space. There's going to be one coming quite soon. But yeah, just drop me an email, chriscongreave.co.uk, and we'll have a chat, and I'll sort you out, and I'll get what I'm hoping to do. Anybody who pre-orders, I'll post them just as I leave for Blackpool. This is the plan. So hopefully people who can't make Blackpool will have them at the same time as all the guys who do, or more or less.
That makes sense. That's a really good idea.
That's Chris, the plan. We'll see.
This is brilliant. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are watching this that are going to be coming to Blackpool. Take my advice. Go over to Chris's stand. There is no one more knowledgeable. There is no one nicer and more willing to help within this community. He's been there. He's bought the T-shirt several times over. And the amount of knowledge that this person has is just phenomenal. And he's willing to share it with everybody. Catch him at the Ruskin. Catch him anywhere. Just speak to him. He's amazing. And go and buy his book, because I reckon they could probably sell out. If you're taking pre-orders, I know you're going to have a ton of pre-orders, which is not going to leave. If you only printed a couple of hundred, you're not going to have that many back at Blackpool. I wouldn't be surprised if you sell out, mate, especially at 50 quid.
I hope it does well. Our pre-orders opened yesterday, and I've already sold a few overnight. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Make sure you come and get a copy as well, mate. I'll go and put one on one side for you.
Oh well, I'll review it because I know it's going to be brilliant. It always is. But Chris, thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'll see you on the channel again soon. Anytime you ever want me to promote anything for you, I'm here. As far as I'm concerned, you're an important part of this community, and please carry on doing what you're doing.
Thanks, mate. Same to you. All the best.
Cheers, man. Guys, leave a comment down below. Let Chris know what you thought of the interview. If you've got his book, let him know what you think. What's your favorite trick? Let's get dialogue going down in the comments, and I will be back with another video. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you at Blackpool. On behalf of Chris Congreave, thanks very much. We'll see you again.